How's it going, everybody? Pozermobil here, bringing you an absolute banger list of the best survival horror games that you can play right now on a PS4 or 5. I've scoured Wikipedia and survivalhorrors.com to determine which games should actually make the list, and I've used the ratings either from OpenCritic if it's a modern game or GameRankings if it's older, as well as the trophy information from PSN profiles to figure all this out. I'm planning on doing more of these for different genres, so if that sounds like the kind of video you want to see, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of them. I'm trying to get to 10K by the end of the year, so every bit helps. Alright, that's enough yapping for me, let's get into the video. At number 20, Yuppie Psycho is a surreal survival horror adventure where Brian Pasternak's first day at Sintra Corp becomes a corporate nightmare, fusing dark humor, psychological tension, and dystopian satire in a twisted vision of the 1990s workplace. Explore each eerie floor of the company, interact with bizarre co-workers, and uncover disturbing truths about Sintra Corp's rise to power while solving clever environmental puzzles and evading supernatural threats. Use different light sources to reveal hidden dangers, collect clues, and make impactful choices that shape the story's multiple endings in this masterclass of sharp writing, oppressive atmosphere, and striking retro horror design. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. At number 19, Dino Crisis is a survival horror classic from Capcom where a covert mission to a remote research facility spirals into chaos after a supposedly dead scientist is found alive and deadly dinosaurs roam the halls. As Regina, a highly trained special agent, you'll navigate claustrophobic corridors filled with intricate puzzles, keycard locks, and bloodthirsty prehistoric predators that strike with terrifying speed, forcing you to think and react quickly. Blending tense exploration, resource management, and strategic combat with cinematic storytelling, atmospheric music, and faster-paced Resident Evil-style action, the game creates a thrilling sense of dread that keeps players on edge from start to finish. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for this one yet. Hopefully we get some in the future. At number 18, Soma is a haunting sci-fi survival horror experience set in the isolated underwater facility Pathos 2, where machines believe they're human and the line between consciousness and artificial life dangerously blurs. Navigate eerie corridors, explore locked terminals, and piece together scattered documents to uncover the facility's dark secrets while encountering corrupted humans, twisted creatures, and enigmatic AI that challenge both your wits and your courage. With no weapons to defend yourself, survival relies on stealth, clever problem-solving, and quick thinking as you unravel a deeply philosophical story about identity, consciousness, and what it truly means to be alive in this chilling environment. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. At number 17, Little Nightmares 2 is a suspenseful horror adventure that plunges players into a twisted, unsettling world distorted by the ominous signal of a distant tower, where young Mono must navigate perilous environments and survive frightening threats. Guided by Six, the girl in the iconic yellow raincoat, Mono explores eerie locations, solves clever environmental puzzles, and uncovers the dark secrets behind the signal tower, all while avoiding grotesque and terrifying inhabitants that lurk around every corner. With its haunting atmosphere, inventive level design, and combination of stealth and platforming challenges, it delivers a chilling yet captivating experience full of tension, mystery, and unexpected scares. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. At number 16, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is a visceral VR survival horror adventure that plunges players into a walker-infested New Orleans where every decision can mean life or death and every sound can draw deadly attention. Explore the city's iconic districts, scavenge for weapons, food, and tools, and craft makeshift gear from scraps while navigating tense encounters with both desperate humans and relentless undead, all amplified by immersive spatial audio and realistic physics interactions. Whether you fight head-on, sneak past threats, or make morally complex choices that affect survivors around you, the game delivers a gripping, immersive experience full of strategy, suspense, and consequence-driven storytelling. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. At number 15, Resident Evil 0 is a gripping prequel to the 1996 classic, following STARS Bravo team officer Rebecca Chambers and convict Billy Cohen as they navigate the eerie Arklay Mountains in an abandoned Umbrella training facility filled with deadly secrets. Players switch between characters to solve clever puzzles, combine unique abilities, and survive encounters with horrifying creatures, while uncovering Umbrella's sinister experiments. With tense atmosphere, strategic resource management, and classic survival horror gameplay, it expands the Resident Evil universe while delivering fresh mechanics, memorable scares, and a tightly woven narrative that keeps players on edge from start to finish. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. At number 14, Resident Evil Village is a tense survival horror adventure and the 8th major installment in the storied Resident Evil franchise, continuing Ethan Winter's story as he faces new, nightmarish threats and unimaginable horrors. Set a few years after the events of Resident Evil 7, Ethan and his wife Mia are trying to build a peaceful life, only for tragedy to strike once again, plunging them into a village filled with monstrous inhabitants, twisted secrets, and deadly environments that test every skill and nerve. With a blend of exploration, combat, and puzzle solving, plus striking visuals, immersive audio, and richly detailed environments, it delivers a thrilling, cinematic horror experience that keeps players constantly on edge. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. At number 13, Stay Out of the House is a tense VHS-style stealth horror game where you must survive the relentless pursuit of the sadistic butcher using your wits, environmental tools, and anything you can scavenge to stay alive. Hide in vents, pick locks, set traps, and avoid detection as you navigate a twisted, claustrophobic house filled with deadly hazards, cruel surprises, and an intelligent AI that learns from your every move. With a mix of survival horror, immersive stealth mechanics, pulse-pounding suspense, and resource management, every decision matters as you search for clues, temper the butcher's bloodlust, and attempt to escape before time runs out, uncovering horrifying secrets along the way. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. At number 12, Metro 2033 is a tense post-apocalyptic first-person survival horror set in the ruined Moscow metro, where humanity survives underground after a catastrophic event has made the surface deadly and uninhabitable. Play as Artyom, a young man raised entirely below ground who must journey through besieged metro stations, forgotten catacombs, and the mutant-filled wastelands above, facing hostile humans, deadly creatures, and harsh environmental hazards at every turn. Combining stealth, resource management, and richly atmospheric storytelling, the game immerses players in a dark, immersive world where every choice and action can dramatically shape the fate of mankind and the fragile remnants of civilization. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 17 hours to platinum. At number 11, Amnesia: The Dark Descent is a chilling first-person survival horror experience that plunges players into the shadowy, oppressive depths of Castle Brennenburg, where Daniel must explore dark corridors and hidden chambers while struggling to maintain his sanity. Navigate terrifying environments filled with grotesque creatures, unsettling events, and psychological horrors that punish curiosity and carelessness, relying on stealth, careful observation, and limited resources to survive. With its oppressive atmosphere, clever environmental storytelling, and a heart-pounding tension, the game delivers a masterclass in psychological horror that keeps players constantly on edge from start to finish. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 16 hours to platinum. Just be aware that this is only available in the Amnesia collection that bundles it alongside A Machine for Pigs. At number 10, Silent Hill F is a chilling survival horror experience set in 1960s Japan, where Shimizu Hinako's secluded town of Abisugaoka is suddenly enveloped in a mysterious fog that turns her home into a haunting, nightmarish landscape. As the town grows increasingly twisted and oppressive, Hinako must navigate surreal streets, solve intricate puzzles, and confront grotesque monsters while uncovering the dark secrets lurking beneath the surface. Immersed in a story crafted by renowned author Ryukishi07, with haunting music including compositions by Akira Yamaoka and striking atmospheric visuals, the game delivers a gripping tale of doubt, regret, and inescapable choices that will test both courage and resolve. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. At number 9, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is a terrifying first-person survival horror experience set in an abandoned southern farmhouse where fear and isolation seep through every creaking wall and shadowy corner, and danger lurks around every turn. Marking a fresh beginning for the franchise, it introduced the isolated view perspective, putting players directly in the shoes of Ethan Winters as he confronts the deranged Baker family, solves chilling puzzles, and uncovers the dark secrets of their horrific estate. Powered by the RE engine, the game delivers incredible immersion with photorealistic environments, intense atmosphere, and pulse-pounding encounters that redefine survival horror for a modern audience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. At number 8, Resident Evil 3 is a tense, gripping survival horror adventure set 2 months after the Mansion incident, as Raccoon City teeters on the brink of collapse under Umbrella Corporation's sinister influence and pervasive corruption. Play as former STARS member Jill Valentine, navigating crumbling streets, abandoned buildings, and hazardous environments, while racing to escape the city with critical information that could expose Umbrella's deadly schemes, save countless lives, and bring justice to the innocent. All the while, the relentless nemesis stalks Jill at every turn, creating constant tension and forcing players to balance strategy, stealth, and combat in a thrilling, high-stakes fight for survival. It's an 87 on GameRankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for this one yet. Hopefully we get some in the future. The remake has a trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10 and about 20 hours to platinum. At number 7, Silent Hill 2 is a psychological survival horror masterpiece following James Sunderland, who receives a mysterious letter from his deceased wife and travels to the fog-shrouded town of Silent Hill in desperate hope of seeing her one last time. As he searches the town and its haunting environments, James encounters Maria, a woman who unnervingly resembles his late wife, while confronting grotesque monsters, surreal landscapes, and nightmarish manifestations of his own guilt and inner turmoil. With its haunting atmosphere, deeply emotional narrative, and iconic sound design by Akira Yamaoka, the game delivers a tense, thought-provoking experience that blends psychological horror with exploration and puzzle solving. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. At number 6, Resident Evil is a seminal survival horror classic set in 1998, where a special forces team is sent to investigate bizarre murders on the outskirts of Raccoon City, only to be ambushed by vicious, bloodthirsty dogs and other deadly creatures. Forced to seek refuge in a mysterious mansion, they must contend with scarce supplies, deadly traps, and the lurking horrors of a sinister outbreak that threatens their very survival at every turn. Combining tense exploration, puzzle solving, and strategic combat, the game established the blueprint for survival horror, delivering a gripping, atmospheric experience filled with suspense, terror, and unforgettable, haunting moments that still resonate today. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for the original version yet. Hopefully we get some in the future. At number 5, Alan Wake 2 is a gripping psychological survival horror thriller, where a string of ritualistic murders in Bright Falls draws FBI agent Saga Anderson into a nightmarish, terrifying case that blurs the lines between reality and fiction. As Anderson investigates, she discovers pages of a dark story coming to life, while Alan Wake, trapped in a nightmare beyond our world, struggles to rewrite his reality and survive the supernatural darkness hunting him. Players switch between their perspectives to explore 2 intertwined worlds filled with haunting landscapes, deadly threats, and corrupt townsfolk, using light as both weapon and refuge to solve mysteries and confront horrifying supernatural forces. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 18 hours to platinum. At number 4, Dead Space is a terrifying survival horror experience where engineer Isaac Clarke boards the massive mining ship USG Ishimura, only to find the crew slaughtered and his partner Nicole missing as darkness and terror engulf the vessel. Alone and armed with only his engineering tools, Isaac must navigate the claustrophobic, derelict ship while confronting grotesque necromorphs and unraveling the horrific mystery behind the vessel's descent into chaos. Combining intense combat, resource management, and deeply immersive atmosphere, the game delivers relentless suspense, chilling visuals, and psychological terror as Isaac fights not only for survival, but to retain his sanity in a nightmare that spares no one. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Taking home bronze at number 3, System Shock 2 is a landmark sci-fi survival horror RPG set in the year 2114, where you awaken from cryosleep aboard the FTL ship Von Braun with no memory, in a ship overrun by hybrid mutants, hostile robots, and the malevolent AI Shodan, whose twisted schemes threaten all of humanity. Navigate derelict corridors, explore every deck, and piece together the tragic fate of the crew while managing limited resources, upgrading abilities, and confronting terrifying enemies in tense, strategic combat. With its deep narrative, immersive environments, and innovative blend of RPG and horror mechanics, the game delivers a gripping, atmospheric experience that challenges both intellect and courage in a battle for survival. It's a 91 on GameRankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. The runner-up at number 2, Resident Evil 2, is a masterful, intense survival horror set 2 months after the mansion incident, where rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy begins his first day on the Raccoon City Police Department, while Claire Redfield arrives in town searching for her missing brother, Chris. As the city descends into chaos, players navigate crumbling streets, infested buildings, and horrifying encounters with relentless zombies and mutated monstrosities, combining tense exploration, strategic combat, and intricate puzzle solving. With stunning visuals, immersive audio, and expertly crafted atmosphere, the game delivers a gripping, high-stakes horror experience that tests both wits and nerves at every turn. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum, and there is unfortunately no trophy support for the original version yet. Hopefully we get some in the future. Taking the top spot, Resident Evil 4 is a landmark survival horror masterpiece where, 6 years after the Raccoon City disaster, Agent Leon S. Kennedy is sent on a high-stakes mission to rescue the president's kidnapped daughter. Tracking her to a secluded European village, Leon encounters villagers afflicted by a horrifying parasitic infection, facing relentless enemies, deadly traps, and grotesque creatures at every turn. Blending tense combat, strategic resource management, and atmospheric exploration, the game delivers heart-pounding suspense, cinematic storytelling, and unforgettable moments of terror and triumph as players navigate a nightmare where life and death, fear, and courage collide in relentless, gripping fashion. It's a 95 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, and the remake has a trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's countdown, everybody. I'm not a big horror guy, so from this set of games I've only played Little Nightmares 2 and System Shock 2 and read the Metro books, so I can recommend each of those from personal experience. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine, and let me know what your personal favorite is and if it made the list. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to catch any other countdowns that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.